Hey, Andy here from builderhottub.com. In this video, we're going to look at Marshall's soaking tub in California, USA. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so in this video, we're going to look at the whole process that Marshall went through when he built his soaking tub in California, USA. Now, you're in for an absolute treat on this video because the pictures that Marshall has taken, it's almost like a time lapse in the way that he's done it. He's taken the pictures from exactly the same place during the build, and hopefully in this video I'll do the footage justice. So like many customers, Marshall got in touch because he needed a bit of a helping hand with his project. He knew what he wanted to build, but he wasn't too sure. He was kind of sitting on the fence, certainly on the plumbing side of things, and he just needed a bit of a shove, if you like, in the right direction from yours truly to help him really get started and basically give him the confidence to actually get going with the project. And he did just that. So he had me custom design his hot tub for him, and in doing that, I put together the design that you can see behind me here, and with that comes a whole bunch of information, access to the video course. There's all of the information that you need for everything from creating the base to the waterproofing. All of that is part of the design service. So you got everything that you needed in terms of information, and of course I helped him with the part supply as well. So before we get going and looking at these great photos that Marshall has taken, thank you very much Marshall, please do subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon to be notified when my videos go live. I do 2 long form videos just like this every single week, a whole bunch of shorts, and everything on my channel focuses on DIY hot tubs, plunge pools, parts, and pretty much everything in between. So with that out the way, let's get going. So Marshall actually started, like everybody starts, with a drawing on the ground. So he's mapped out exactly where he's going to be digging his base. His tub is going to be above ground. So the whole idea with this tub is he's going to build it up. He's then going to have a patio in there. So it's going to have the feel that it's in ground, but it's actually above ground, if you kind of get what I'm going. Hopefully, as the video progresses, you'll understand what I mean. So with the ground marked out, it was then time for Marshall and the guys to start digging a hole. That's where we all start, and he did just that. After digging the hole, he is then going to place and lay the base. So you can see in there that the rebar is put in there as well for the base to give it some additional strength. Following the base, he's then moving on to look at the walls. And in this particular build, he's pouring concrete for his walls. So to do that, you need to create a mold, which is also known as a form. So you can see the forms have gone up behind me here. And then on the internal side, he's actually dropping in his insulation. So this is a great way of doing it if you're doing a concrete pour. Into those walls go your plumbing and your insulation as well. You do need to have a front form as well, which you can see behind me here. So now your mold or your form is ready to be filled with concrete. Now the tip that you will always hear me saying when you're pouring, make sure everything is really well braced. The last thing you want is to pour your concrete and your walls to do this. Okay, it's not going to be a good look, and it's something you really want to avoid. So lots of bracing, and you can see as these images are cycling behind me here that Marshall did just that. With the forms removed, Marshall wanted to add a bit more insulation to his base. So he put those insulation boards down, and then he poured a layer of concrete on top of that as well. With the floor complete and now insulated, Marshall and the guys turned their attention to the internal seats. I always say with internal seating, it's not really worth pouring. Pouring concrete is an expensive business. Concrete, it's not cheap. So a much cheaper way of doing it is using a CMU block, which is a concrete masonry unit. It's a hollow block, really inexpensive, and you can put them together really quickly, and you can fill them full of concrete, but in doing so, you're going to use less concrete, so it's going to save you some money, which is always a good thing. At the same time, Marshall is putting in the plumbing, and you can see that going in on the outside of the tub. Now, I've called this a soaking tub, but he has actually put in plumbing for it to be a hot tub with bubbles and an air blower, but he wasn't sure if he actually wanted that. He put those in anyway, and as it's turned out, he doesn't use the jets at all. So he uses it purely as a hot soaking tub, and you'll see how good this looks when we get to the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. With the plumbing in place, the next stage for Marshall was to put the tiles around the waterline. So he's going to go for a plastered or more like a PebbleTech finish, rather than tiles all the way round. But having tiles on the waterline is always a good idea because it's much easier to clean tiles than it is a kind of abrasive surface that can pick up dirt a lot easier. So having a smooth tile around the waterline is always a good idea. And now the fun really starts. It was on to water testing. So as you can see behind me, he's filled it up and he's checking for leaks. He's running all of the systems to make sure that everything works. And he's doing this before he applies the finished surface. Always a good idea to do it, because if you do find a leak or you do find a problem, the last thing that you want to be doing is ripping apart your finished tub. So do it before you do the finished surface. That way, if you do find any problems, it's not the end of the world if you've got to dig into your walls, that kind of a thing. And obviously you can patch them back up before you put that nice finished surface in place. Then it was on to that interior surface. So this was a bit of a wait for Marshall because he had to struggle to get the concrete guy or the plaster guy back in to put the finished surface on for him. So he was waiting around for quite a few weeks for this. However, it's gone in, and as you can see behind me, the finished surface looks absolutely stunning. So one of the things that Marshall's actually added to his soaking tub is a tow bar. Now, it's not the tow bar that you would find on a trailer. It's a bar that you can rest your toes or your feet on, so you can lie back in the soaking tub, and it just gives you a bit more balance. It's the first tub certainly that any of my customers have built that have got it, but if you are looking for building a soaking tub, it's a great addition. It just allows you to basically float a lot easier. With the interior done, it's now time for the exterior to be finished as well. And how good does this look? Marshall, you've done an absolutely fantastic job here. I can't thank you enough for all of the footage, and I'm going to leave you all now to enjoy a short video that Marshall has recorded for me. How good was Marshall's soaking tub? Can I help you with your own DIY hot tub, plunge pool, soaking tub build? Please do get in touch. Always happy to hear from you. As always, I appreciate the view. Thanks ever so much for watching. Marshall, thanks again for all the footage, and I will see you on the next video. If you've liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.